Hey, welcome back to Leafy Life. I'm Susie, and this channel is my space to share my love of houseplants.
In this house, I am tending to leafy life, reaching green and bending toward the light. Leafy life, this is my leafy life.
Alright, so we are catching up with part 2 of new growth around the house. Checking in with my houseplants that have new leaves coming out at the moment. And being December, that just feels really lovely to see so much fresh growth, being that it's rather cold and grey a lot of the time right now. So we're going to be maybe checking in on the kids' bedrooms, definitely going and seeing what's going on in the kitchen and the lounge and my little workroom. But first I'm going to start with what's here in my hallway, which is where I'm sitting now. Behind me you can see some ivy trailing there, so I'm gonna show you those first. So this is a little set of 3 ivy plants that I bought at a garden centre a few months ago, and they've been really happy here in the hallway because it's not too bright for them. I do have to make sure that I keep them topped up with water because they like to stay damp. The second they dry out, they can start browning and yellowing their leaves quite quickly, and then they would then really sulk, and it can be hard to bring them back from that point if you leave it too long. But these have been happy, lots of new growth. That they have definitely got longer since they've been here. So these are some leaves that have definitely popped out since they've been in situ. And I was going to show you the most baby new growth. It's a bit dim to show you clearly, but I'll do my best. There we go. Show you on the dark background there. There we go. So yeah, the end leaves there are quite newly emerged and very, very glossy. And there's that new little leaf right there. So yeah, they're generally always in that state of carrying on putting out new growth. We'll see how that continues over the winter. But yeah, those two, so this one at this end and this one down at the bottom are both the same type of ivy, and then the one in the middle is just slightly different. I don't know all the different types of ivy. I know that they're called hedera, but yeah, they are just slightly different from one another. But they seem happy here. I had them in these pots and they were kind of like tilted between the banisters for a while because I didn't have a way of displaying them, and then I eventually got around to doing these simple macrame hangers. I know I've talked about it a lot before, but just to give a big thumbs up to Emma at Good Growing, because this is her method of doing hangers without the tassels. I really don't want tassels on all my planters, so on all my hangers, so I'm very grateful for that method of doing them. It may look like this is precariously dangly, but that's actually just a little bit of wrap that I've done over the banister to kind of conceal the way I've been hanging them. So that just wraps around and tucks in, but it's come untucked for now. We'll sort that out another time. This is just some Christmas bunting that my mum made quite a few years ago, and up there is a string of tiny stockings, 24, as an advent calendar for my husband when we were first married. We don't fill them anymore, but we just display them. But yeah, I hand sewed 24 tiny fabric stockings because I had a lot more time back then. I have ivy up here, which I've had up here for quite a while. It's not particularly fast growing, I think because of where it is. It being higher up and a bit further away from the window, it doesn't get a lot of bright light. But yeah, as long as I keep it damp, it seems happy, and it has been putting out new growth. This isn't particularly new, but it's just steadily been getting on fine. That little peperomia there, I know that's not a great spot for it. It's really needing some brighter light, so I'm going to move that. Back down the stairs, there's this little maranta, and this leaf has been starting to unfurl the last few days. That's really lovely. This one was adopted from the plant swap. I know, I adopted so many plants from the plant swap, didn't I? But this one is really gorgeous and seems really happy. So yeah, it's not in the brightest spot, but it does get a bit more sun than the rest of the plants in the hallway. because it's right by that little window. And we do get some direct sun coming in sometimes into the hallway, not for very long, but a little bit, enough to keep them ticking over. And yeah, this one seems okay here, so it's really nice to see this new leaf. As you can see, it's quite different in colouring from the mature leaves, which have this amazing pink veining and much more sort of dark middle. But this one's just lovely and green. I think that's beautiful. It'll be nice to see the new colouring coming in. You can kind of see on this one that it's in that in-between stage where it's got some of the pink veining but not quite as strongly, and it's just not as dark green overall. So that's fun. And over here we have, let's maybe just shut the bathroom door. I have a beautiful Aglaonema cutlass here, which is gorgeous. I got this back in end of July, middle of August maybe, and it's been fine, but I've been fighting mealybugs on it for quite some time, and they're still there. I did spot one this morning, so it's due a spray. Look, there's one. How dare it? They really have been quite tireless in inhabiting this plant. So it's quite a difficult one to treat because it's just got so many petioles, and look at these, there's just so many stems and they just get right down in amongst them all. It's just rather vexing. So I'll keep at it. It's very much worth it for a beautiful plant, but it's just a bit tiresome really. But it does keep putting out new growth, so that's why I'm showing you today. There's one there. So that's cool, and there's a few more lurking in there. So I really will spray this today because I want to give these new leaves as much chance as possible to survive against those pesky mealybugs. And then going up, this trunk may look familiar to some of you. This is the Ficus macrolandii alii. I hope I've got that right. And it does have some new growth coming through at the top, which is lovely. It's consistently put out new growth ever since I got it. This was the one that was reduced from 40 quid to 10 quid, and it was not a plant I was planning to seek out. Oh look, there's a brown leaf just, you can come out. It was not a plant I was planning to look for or get, but it kind of almost jumped into my trolley really. So yeah, it seems happy out here, and it's dual water actually. This is one that I struggle to remember to water because it just it was in a pot that didn't have drainage, and I think that's still the case. Yeah, we were recently given this pot by a friend who's moving house, it's a really gorgeous, lovely round simple white pot, so right up my street. But it doesn't have drainage, so I tend to just carry the whole thing to the sink and let it drain and then bring it back, and because of that it often gets procrastinated about. But it seems very tolerant, this ficus. It's behaved beautifully for months and never seems to complain about the fact that I don't really take it for a drink very often. And yeah, seems to be acclimatized to this spot and to this this treatment. I do love it, and yeah, if it was demanding water far more often, I would obviously do something about it. But I think because it's behaving very, very tolerantly, it just helps me to relax about not rushing to water it. But it is due a water. I'll do that imminently. That's everything in the hallway, so I'm going to take you through into my little workroom. When I say little, it really is kind of like a little cupboard, and it's completely a mess. So I'm not going to be showing you the room itself, but I will show you the plants that are in it and what they're doing. So I'll probably keep this short and sweet in this room because it's very hard to find anywhere to tread. I've got a load of terrariums on the floor I'm going to be trying to sell tomorrow at a little fair, and yeah, just loads of like projects in progress. there's not many inches that are bare carpet in this room currently. But look, this lovely peace lily, which I've had for a while, has a new leaf coming out. I just really love this peace lily. Even if it doesn't flower, I just think it's beautiful, quite plain, and I think it's gorgeous. So it's always really nice to see new leaves popping out and showing me that it's happy. And then coming down, we have this gorgeous Pakira. Just show you the trunk as well. There we go. So this has new growth currently. Let's show you the new leaf. Focus. There we go. Isn't that lovely? It's kind of like looking very demure with its little leaves pointing downwards before it sends them up into the more horizontal umbrella-ness. But yeah, this whole plant is looking really healthy at the moment. It doesn't get a lot of attention, to be honest. Lately I haven't been in this workroom as often as I would like to be at my desk, so things have got a little bit ignored in here. I've had a few quick dash-ins to make sure that things are getting watered, but some of the things in smaller pots did get very, very dry, which was really remiss of me. So yeah, lovely to see a new leaf pop up. And zooming down into the crowns, these are very similar to the other umbrella plants, the Schefflera what's it, they have this same kind of branching structure with the little crowns where the new leaves come from, and they come out so pristine and tiny and immaculate. So it looks like it's brewing. It's really hard to show you the actual detail of it. I'm gonna just zoom under some leaves. I've just come around from the other side to show you these little points here. It's just starting to brew more leaves down there in several of these little crowny points, so that is all very pleasing. It's doing great. Here's my Senecio Archeri Himalaya, and it's branched out so much since you last saw it. So it was just this one main stem, and then it's gone into 4 separate stems at the top. I've been fighting thrips on here for a long time, and every now and then I just find one black adult thrip on it, but that's it. So I just squish them off and proceed as normal. But lately I haven't seen even a single one, so that's really great because they do seem to really like this plant, but they can't have it, it's mine. So yeah, this one, it's kind of growing non-stop. I want to show you the new growth down in the middle there. Look. Oh, I'm just bouncing on something papery, hold on. There we go. So you can see down in the middle there, there's just all that new growth. So it's the same in all the other tops of the other stems too. So I'm really pleased that that one is continuing to be really healthy and full of life. Oh my gosh, right, out we come from there. That is, yeah, it's just like one messy cupboard. Right, where next? I think we'll head through to the lounge. I don't think there's so many things to show you in here. This is the other umbrella plant that I was telling you about in the previous video, the non-variegated one. And yeah, it's been putting out this new growth lately, so it's doing really well. I don't think it's got any current teeny weeny babies in the crown, but yeah, these it's pushed out in the last week or two, and it's just very lovely. I'm glad it's happy. This one does not get quite as much bright light as the other one, but it does continue to grow, if not as fast, just nice and steadily. Going up, we have another ivy up here, which is quite different. I'll bring it down and show you. We go. I'll show it to you on the floor. I've just freshly hoovered because we're going to put up the tree today. It's the 15th today, and it's the last day of school at my kids' school, so it'll be really nice to do that with them. Yeah, this one's really happy up there. It's not getting too bright light, but it's getting enough light. I do have to be careful to water this one enough because it's up high, and I do find that the higher up the plants, the more likely I am to forget about them. But yeah, lovely new growth. I'm just going to zoom in and show you a bit better. There we go. Isn't it gorgeous? I love these long pointed leaves. Quite different from the other ones that I showed you. I've had this one for quite a while, and it's one that I had to rescue actually. Like as in I bought it and it was fine, and then I underwatered it and it wasn't happy, so I ended up cutting a lot back and then planting bits back in the soil, and it's really taken off. It's bushing out a bit more now. Yeah, looking much fuller and happier, and I think most, if not all, of the different stems have actually got new leaves on the tips. There's one just coming on this one, just starting, and this one's got tiny little new ones. So cute. I love ivy. I just think it's gorgeous. There's another one. That one just popped out recently, obviously, and it's got new little bits coming just behind it there. What about down here? Yep, recent green leaves. They're so vivid green, and look down there, so sweet. Oh, they're so tiny and shiny. Oh, more down here. There we go. Just there we go. yeah, so very, very lovely plant. Love that one. So just in my son's room and just showing you, this is under his high sleeper bed. The parrot plant here is putting out new growth continually, so that's nice. It'll soon be at the top of this bed. So yeah, I'll talk to you more about parrot plants soon because they're a plant that I love. They're quite easy to care for and a really satisfying plant to care for actually. So I'm going to do a video about those soon. I'm just in my daughter's room and looking at the plants on her windowsill. This one needs a drink, but it's nice to see there's new growth on the Pilea peperomioides. I will zoom in for you. There we go, some lovely new growth just there. This is particularly pleasing because this is a plant that although I know it's considered to be easy, I've never managed to keep one of these very happy for very long. So it's very rewarding to see some new growth. Okay, we are now ready to go to one of my favourite places in the house, which is the kitchen windowsill, and see what's going on there. So here we are. There's a little bit of a change since you last saw it because I now have twins. Yeah, we had one spice rack already. I now have an identical one. It was another Facebook Marketplace find, and the lady was very sweet and she agreed to post it to me because she wasn't particularly close by. So yeah, it's just really nice having double the space because it did get a bit cluttered before, and just being able to elevate things up off the windowsill is really nice. And my dear friend Lizzie got this for me for Christmas. It may look like candlesticks to some people, but it's really not. It's obviously a plant stand, so it's perfect for this one because it gives me more height for the danglies. Obviously being glass, it reflects light, it lets the light through. Actually got quite an attractive little view through there. And another one over there just matching. So yeah, they're really tall and they're really nice and narrow, and it's a really decent size. You could put an even bigger plant on top there, and it was perfect timing because this one I've been meaning to hang it for ages because it's getting so long. We did try to put a hook up there, but we realized it wasn't the right type of material to drill into, so now we just have a nice hole, but we will try it up into the actual ceiling. It's because it's the actual window surround made of different stuff, but it's perfect timing because it's just got so long. It's dangling, trying to get down into the sink, and you can see it's basically reached down to the bottom of the windowsill, but it's recognizing that and it's kind of curling back up on itself. So now it has a little more room. It was kind of like on a pot about that high before. So thank you again, Lizzie. It is very much appreciated. Very thoughtful present and practical and wonderful. Very excited to show you my Stephania plant. So this arrived from eBay a few weeks ago now, and it was just, oh, I'll pop in a photo of what it looked like when it arrived. I'm quite amazed that it's taken off and it's actually growing because from a little bit of research that I did after it actually arrived, which is not the best time to research a plant, much better to research then purchase, but there we go. I now have this gorgeous plant and I'm learning about it as I go. But yeah, it had some little leafy stems out, but they were kind of like withered, and they obviously hadn't had light for a while because they'd come from China, I believe, in a parcel. But yeah, it's just beautiful. I'm completely in love with this plant. It reminds me a lot of nasturtiums or like lily pads. There's just something very beautiful about these flat roundy leaves, and they're really veiny so that you can really enjoy seeing the light through them. But yeah, it's just growing and growing. I've just put this little rod in here, which is from an old orchid that I had, and I think I will have to tie it on because it was growing fine and then started to kind of not flop over but sort of grow towards the light. It was obviously chasing the light, and I realized it's only so long it can do that before it does completely fall over. It does need some support because they're quite little stems. It's quite kind of yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? Quite tender little stems. But you can see these are the leaves that popped out like brand new, these big ones. These are all new since it arrived, and they've been slowly getting bigger. And then there's this new growth here, which is adorable. Try and show it to you a bit clearer and hopefully show you how the light comes through the lovely leaves as well. There we go, that's showing you the gorgeous veining and pattern of the leaves. So beautiful. It's one of my favourite things about really luscious green leaves is just seeing that lovely patterning over them when the light comes through. There we go. There's the ones at the top, the tiniest new ones. So cute. They're so dinky. So I'm loving watching this grow. So when this arrived, I just trimmed off any bits that looked like they weren't going to do anything, and I soaked it in water overnight. I started it off in a little bowl of like lukewarm water and soaked it overnight, and then I popped it into a pot of soil, keeping it half uncovered at the top, and I'm just keeping that soil moist, and it seems happy. So yeah, I'm sure I have a lot more to learn about this plant, but right now it's doing all right, and yeah, it's really, really gorgeous to watch it. Here's one of the Radamakara cuttings that I took in a previous video with you guys, and it's, yeah, rooted really well, as you can see. This is just one stem cutting on its own. I was finding that it was, they all rooted really successfully, but some of them got knocked out of the jar, and before I realised and had got to them to rescue them, they dried out and gone all rubbishy, so they went. But it was nice to continue on with this one and watch it progress. So I can plant that up anytime now, and you can see it's got new growth coming out of that centre stem, so that can be another plant for someone else at some point. Here is the string of dolphins, which I showed you when I first put the spice rack in place. It's definitely grown. It is a little spindly, so I wonder if it needs a feed. Let's check the roots under the pot. Yeah, nothing coming out. I think it's fine in this size pot because it is only one stem, so it should be fine in there for a bit. But yeah, it's definitely, was it 2 bits coming out before, or was it 1? I'm trying to remember now. But yeah, it's definitely grown. I just wonder what I could do to make it happier. It's definitely getting a lot of light, but I wonder if it needs a feed. I have been feeding my other plants. So yeah, I don't know, we'll just keep an eye on it, but it's lovely to see that it's definitely a lot longer than it was. So this is a rather dark corner, but I'll show you last of all. This is my tea plant, which I have shown you before, and it's got new growth at the top there, so hooray, it is happy. I do love my tea plant. It's rather lovely. This is a bit of a messy part of the kitchen because we accumulate our crockery here for the washing up. But yeah, so I'm sure there are a few more bits and bobs I could show you, but probably only subtle differences at the moment. But there are lots of things on here that are ready to put up, so that'll be a different video sometime soon where I can turn those into proper potted plants with you guys. Alright then, I think that is everything that is currently popping out new leaves around the house, so I will keep you posted as and when anything else bursts out with new leaves. So yeah, thanks for joining me to explore all of that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please like and share and follow and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.